you want to reach over there, let's go. And we go there, and then you go, okay, that's too far. Well, how do you know? I just feel it. This is, you know.
The only reason that I built the barn, I mean, the horses need a place to stay, but it was really to have a place to put my stuff.
They actually tell people it's my idea. Like, that's dumb. Because then I'm in an interview and they go, hey, great idea with the thing. And I go, yeah, it wasn't my idea.
This week on Headline Country, we'll run down the top nominees for this year's CMA Awards. Rocker-turned-country girl Sheryl Crow lets us inside her Nashville home. Craig Morgan shifts into a higher gear on his musical journey. And the fuse has been lit. Keith Urban talks about the melting pot of musical influences that helped create the most ambitious project of his career.
Hey, I'm Sheryl Crow, and Headline Country starts right now.
Hello and welcome to Headline Country. I'm Stormy Warren. Well, it's that time of year. The final nominations for this year's CMA Awards have been announced. Sheryl Crow and Florida Georgia Line had the honor of unveiling this year's top contenders. Country fans woke up to some big news on Tuesday morning as Sheryl Crow and Florida Georgia Line announced the final nominees for the 47th Annual CMA Awards live on Good Morning America.
The nominees for Entertainer of the Year are Jason Aldean, Luke Bryan, Blake Shelton, George Strait, and Taylor Swift.
After revealing the nominees for 5 awards on GMA, including Luke Bryan's first ever bid for Entertainer of the Year, Sheryl, Bryan, and Tyler headed to the Best Buy Theater in New York City to unveil the rest of the 12 categories on a live internet stream. An indication that female artists are regaining strength in the format. Top nominees Taylor Swift and Kacey Musgraves pulled in 6 nods each. Taylor is up for Entertainer of the Year, Female Vocalist of the Year, Album of the Year, and 3 nominations for her collaboration with Tim McGraw and Keith Urban, Highway Don't Care. Kacey Musgraves' 6 include Female New Artist, Song, and Single of the Year for Merry Go Round, and Album of the Year for Same Trailer, Different Park.
The boys round here sending up a prayer to the man upstairs.
Reigning CMA Female Vocalist of the Year, Miranda Lambert, and Entertainer of the Year and Male Vocalist of the Year, Blake Shelton, each received 5 nominations. Miranda shares 2 with her trio, the Pistolantes, for their work on Blake's hit, Boys Round Here.
I just want a little bit of everything. Na 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 na.
Keith Urban and Florida Georgia Line raked in 4 noms each. Bryan and Tyler for Duo of the Year, New Artist of the Year, Single, and Vocal Event of the Year for their collaboration with Nelly on the now 5 times platinum Cruise.
Baby, you a song, make me wanna roll my windows down and cruise.
Huge song, man. I think we've sold over 5 million copies of it. So it's just for us, as songwriters especially, it's just like a dream come true, man.
It really is a testament to our fans and country radio and our team behind us, man. Just, you know, we've been working really hard and a lot's gone into it. So if we win or lose, man, that November 6th, we're going to celebrate either way.
Their fellow New Artist nominees include Lee Brice, who is also up for Song of the Year with I Drive Your Truck, Brett Eldridge, Kip Moore, and again, Kacey Musgraves. In the Male Vocalist category,
Jason Aldean, Mr. Luke Bryan, Eric Church, Blake Shelton, last but not least, Mr. Keith Urban.
Along with Miranda, Kacey, and Taylor, the female list includes Kelly Clarkson and Carrie Underwood. Carrie's project Blown Away joins Blake's Based on a True Story, Taylor's Red, Little Big Town's Tornado, and Kacey Musgraves in the Album of the Year category.
Might have been I got a little drunk last night.
As for the Group of the Year, in the running are the Eli Young Band, Lady A, Little Big Town, the Band Perry, and Zac Brown Band. And the Duo category is quite colorful, with Big and Rich, Florida Georgia Line, Love and Theft, Sugarland, The Civil Wars, and reigning CMA duo Thompson Square.
And I'll be an old troubadour when I'm gone.
And for you trivia buffs out there, George Strait last won Entertainer of the Year in 1990. This year marks his 18th nomination in the category, making him the most nominated act in CMA history with 82. Congrats to all the nominees, and for a complete list, visit headlinecountry.net.
I got my windows down and the radio. Get your radio on.
Brad Paisley and Carrie Underwood will return as co-hosts for this year's show, which will air live Wednesday, November 6th on ABC. More with Sheryl Crow and her brand new album later in the show. Coming up, Keith Urban describes the creative experience behind the making of his new album, Fuse. Well, his last album, Get Closer, provided closure for Keith Urban. He defined his sound and created a catalog of hits over the years. Now it's time to shake things up, both in the studio and out on the road. I sat down with Keith to talk about how a little bit of everything helped create the new sound and feel of the new music on his album, Fuse. Kids, the word of the day is fuse. And in typical Keith Urban way, it doesn't have just one meaning, does it?
That's right. Something that's about to ignite and the bringing together of elements.
You've created such a signature Keith Urban sound. How do you retain that and still explore?
Well, I think trying to expand it, that's all I've been trying to do is expand it. You know, I'm not trying to make a record that doesn't sound anything like me. It sounds like me, but an expanded version, so there's new elements in there. I've written with drum machines and banjos most of the last decade. It's primarily what I use to write. And so there's always been this robotic, rhythmic element to the organic music. And I love how those two things come together. And I think there's just still infinite ways to explore those. I mean, everything had to be new once.
I just want to sing a little chill song, get my groove on, pour something strong down in my drink.
If the song feels right, if it feels right, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just feeling. Does it feel right?
Yeah.
It's even more important than the sound of it. Does it feel right?
Oh, I know that I don't need a whole lot of anything. I just want a little bit of everything. Na 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 na, na 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 na.
A little bit of everything is the first taste we're getting off of Fuse. Is it a good representation?
I certainly couldn't pick one song that I think tells you what the record's like. There really wasn't one song that seemed to do that. So I'm really looking forward, like a lot of others, I'm looking forward to getting more singles out and particularly getting the album out.
About the Light the Fuse tour, where the word fuse pops in. This is where the ignition point, the definition of the word, comes to play, right?
Yeah. I knew what I was going to call the album when I named the tour. So it was intentional for the album title to be in there. But it also feels like it's a very combustible thing. And playing live, certainly the way I like to do it is very combustible. So it seemed like a really fitting title for a live tour.
The challenge you always face and you find a way to overcome each new production is find a way to even break down the barrier between you and the fan even more. What have you done this time to even further that process?
Come and see us live.
And the interesting part is you're launching this tour and the first chance fans are going to get to hear this new music is right here from the stage.
Yeah, so well, I'm trying to figure out how many songs off the record to do. I go to concerts too, and I'm like, sometimes I want to hear one of the new songs, and sometimes I'm like, let me play something off the new record, play one of the old ones, you know.
Can you do that on the fly just by judging the crowd?
Yeah, and that's how we'll do it. I think we'll have X amount of songs ready to slip in. If it's not working for any number of reasons, then we got to flip it quickly.
One of the funniest tour launch videos I've ever seen, when you announced your package for this tour with Little Big Town and Dustin Lynch.
In the car.
How much fun was that to put together?
It was a blast. It was really fun. And we were just trying to pick songs that we would probably not normally do. I mean, you know, Dustin in his cowboy hat singing Wake Me Up Before You Go Go is just fantastic. It's my favorite moment.
Wake me up before you go, go. Leave me hanging on like a yo-yo.
Gonna make me feel like I'm the only girl in the world.
And then Jimmy from Little Big Town singing, you know, The Only Girl in the World by Rihanna. It's just fantastic.
What it did was actually paint the picture of what the friendship is of this group.
Yeah.
You really painted it's like, hey, this isn't just slapping some artists on a stage.
No.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah, it's camaraderie, genuine camaraderie. I like that. I like it in my band. I like it in any kind of ensemble, collaborative place. I want to have that sense of camaraderie. I like to see it when I'm in an audience. I love it when I can see that all the artists obviously get along. The audiences pick up on that. They can feel it, and then they feel a part of it. And I like that. The album and the tour, all of it, sort of goes together creatively, and it was trying to fuse elements together. Musically speaking, visually speaking, all of it really. The frontier of all originality is just finding new ways to bring things together. I mean, it's all been done, so it's always trying to find a different take on it, really.
Fuse was finally released September 10th, including a duet with Miranda Lambert and a collaboration with Eric Church. There's also a deluxe edition of the album available, containing 3 additional tracks. Later this month, Keith jumps back into the judge's chair as production begins for his 2nd season on American Idol. We'll be right back. When we come back, with a little help from Brad Paisley, rocker Sheryl Crow reveals her country roots.